Hello and welcome to my meander for this week. I'm sorry that there wasn't one last week, but as some of you may know, Debbie and I both contracted COVID whilst we were in Vancouver. Thankfully, we were able to get home, but I have to say that although in our cases it has not been a bad infection, it is unpleasant. The good news is we're both on the mend, though the effects are still hanging on. I must admit that the positive test result came as something of a shock. The Seafarers mission in Vancouver finished on Thursday evening 2 weeks ago. As we flew from Vancouver to Toronto on the Friday, I began to have an annoying cough. The air quality on the west coast had been poor due to forest fires, so I presume my chest was just irritated. The plan was that we'd stay in Toronto over the weekend, as Debbie had not been there before. Then she would fly back to Fredericton on Monday, and I would go off to the House of Bishops. On Saturday, I felt worse, but we covered about 17 kilometres walking around the city and went back to the hotel. The intention was to go out again on Sunday, but I still felt rough, so took a COVID test, and bingo, I spent the rest of the day in bed. We cancelled our flights, rented a car, and Debbie drove us back home. She's about 2 days behind me with the illness, so we made it before she was really unwell. As I've gone through this time of enforced rest, it has led me to think about what we do when our plans are interrupted. Generally speaking, I'm frustrated and annoyed when such things occur. But on this occasion, early on, I didn't have the energy to be either of these things. The result was that apart from sleeping, I was able to spend more time reflecting, reading, and praying. It may sound strange, but the book I picked up was Dante's Divine Comedy. As many of you know, this poem tells the story of his journey through hell, purgatory, and to paradise. Dante's work has proved highly influential over the centuries, particularly with writers such as C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien. The reason for this is that in both cases, Lewis and Tolkien were trying to push back beyond what they saw as the limitations of modern thought through towards something more mysterious which preceded it. Not only in their famous books such as the Narnia Chronicles or Lord of the Rings, but also in other writings. They were trying to encourage people to engage with the mystery of God. In many ways, God is unknowable, yet chooses to be known. Lewis and Tolkien would say that as we come to know God, we easily limit God, and there's a need to seek to dwell with God in order to enter further into the mystery. As I read Dante, I have been drawn into the sense of the need to dwell more deeply with God, to push into the mystery. Plans interrupted have led to a different place. Once again, thank you for being here. I trust that you are well. God bless.